In an urban panic, your primary enemy is not the shortage of resources, it is the people around you. Unwanted attention is fatal. Listen up. This briefing covers the gray zone protocol and the concept of the gray man. The mission objective is simple: visually merge with the crowd. Your task is to move through the city so that an observer's eye does not lock on you for longer than 1 second. Rule 1 of surviving inside a crowd: total rejection of tactical clothing and camouflage. A camo jacket or a pair of military pants identifies you instantly as a person with supplies or a weapon. In the eyes of a looter, tactical gear is the marker of a priority target. You will be hit first. Clothing must be neutral, earth-toned, and gray. Black also draws attention, especially at night. Ideal palette: dark blue, gray, brown, dull green. These colors dissolve into the urban landscape of concrete and asphalt. Your clothing must not carry bright logos, reflective strips, or slogans. Those work as visual beacons. If your jacket has reflectives, cut them off or cover them with matte duct tape. Your kit must not look new or expensive. A high-end Patagonia or Arc'teryx jacket is a reason for a mugging. Age your outer garments artificially. Scuffs and dirt reduce your visual value to an aggressor. Footwear is a critical element. Forget heavy combat boots. They advertise your training. Choose muted color trail running shoes or low-profile hikers. They deliver mobility but look like ordinary civilian footwear. Boots must be broken in, unremarkable, but capable of handling broken glass and debris. Rule 2. Silhouette control. Tight clothing gives away concealed carry or a chest rig underneath. Choose garments 1 size larger. Layers and a loose cut hide the outline of what you carry on your belt or torso. Backpack. A tactical pack with a MOLLE system is a death sentence. It screams, valuable gear inside. Swap it for a plain civilian day pack or a dark-colored student backpack with minimal external pockets. If a tactical pack is all you have, throw a dull gray rain cover over it or a plain black contractor trash bag. The weight of your pack must not change your gait. If you walk hunched forward, an observer will read the load as heavy. Heavy load means valuable load. Distribute weight close to the spine and train to move with a level posture. Rule 3. Noise discipline. You will not jingle when you walk. Metal zipper pulls on your pack and jacket produce a distinct click and rattle. Replace them with paracord pulls. Keys, carabiners, and pocket change get bound with a rubber band or wrapped in cloth. Eliminate every metallic sound. Rule 4. Body language. Your walking pace must match the average pace of the crowd. Moving faster reveals panic or a defined objective. Moving slower marks you as prey. Avoid direct eye contact. In a crisis, eye to eye is read as a challenge or aggression. Look through the crowd. Control the environment with peripheral vision. Scan at belt and hand level on those around you. Emotional camouflage. If the crowd is scared and jittery, you cannot appear absolutely calm and collected. Excessive composure in chaos exposes a professional or a person with a plan. Fake mild confusion. Match the herd. Rule 5. Route selection. Avoid main streets, town squares, and major intersections. Those are bottlenecks. That is where the crowd, the checkpoints, and the looter packs concentrate. Move through alleys, service lanes, between subdivisions, and along fences of industrial zones, but avoid dead ends. Always have a minimum of 2 egress routes from any point on your path. If one is blocked, you change direction instantly. Do not hug the walls of buildings. Broken glass and debris lie there and crunch under your boots. Keep a 15-foot buffer from wall corners. That fraction of a second is your reaction margin when someone steps out from cover. Cross open ground fast, but do not sprint. Before you cross, halt in shadow and study the far side. Rule 6. Time of day. Optimal window for movement: early morning, before dawn, when visibility is minimal. Night hides you, but any movement during a declared curfew or in a full blackout draws maximum attention from patrols. Understand curfews in the American context. Local authorities and state governors can declare emergency curfews under state law within hours of a major event. National Guard checkpoints appear on state highways and neighborhood entrances. Curfew violations get you detained, disarmed, and separated from your family. By day, disappear into the mass of people. Use the crowd as concealment. Stay near the center of the flow, never on the edge. If you detect a tail, do not accelerate. Enter a large structure with multiple exits, a shopping mall, a Target, a big box store. Once inside, change your appearance sharply. Drop the jacket, put on or remove a ball cap, pull out a plastic bag. Exit through a different door and blend into a new group. Track the pursuer through window reflections. Rule 7. Scent. Without running water or hygiene, the smell of a clean body, soap, or cologne is an anomaly. The odor of expensive tobacco or fresh food will pull hungry people from tens of yards away. Impregnate your outer garments with the smell of campfire smoke or motor oil. Those are natural disaster smells. They repel. When you return to your base, do it with maximum caution. Never approach your own door in a straight line. If someone is following, walk past your building, loop the block, confirm the tail has broken, and only then return. Now, a new front. Digital OPSEC. Your electronic signature is as loud as your silhouette. Kill location services on every device. Turn off Bluetooth. Turn off Wi-Fi Auto Connect. Delete geotagged photos from your feeds and scrub past posts that show your address, your gear room, or your driveway. Never publish prep hauls on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or Reddit. Every crate of ammunition you post is a shopping list for someone 20 miles away. Stop broadcasting your movements. No Strava routes running past your house. No public Life 360 links visible to acquaintances. Switch family comms to end-to-end encrypted messengers like Signal. Set disappearing messages. Assume every SMS and every cellular call is logged. Assume the algorithm has already tagged you as a prepper based on your search history and your Amazon orders. Live like a person who is watched because you are. Once the crisis breaks, the digital signature becomes even more dangerous. Anyone with a 30 handheld and a scanning app can pick up your Bluetooth device MAC addresses, your Wi-Fi probes, your unencrypted radio traffic. Turn devices off, pull batteries when possible, store spare phones in a Faraday pouch. Assume the enemy monitors social media in real time to build maps of who is home, who has power, and who has supplies. In the next segment, we break down the hardening of your position from the inside without drawing attention from the street. The Fortress Protocol. Your home must look empty, already looted, or abandoned. The rookie mistake is boarding up windows from the outside with plywood. That screams, there is something valuable here and we are defending it. Your defense must be invisible from the street. Rule 1. Absolute light discipline. Use heavy blackout curtains or double layers of contractor-grade black trash bags taped down with duct tape. A crack a millimeter wide will give you up at night. Check your windows from the street after sunset. Rule 2. Glass protection. A shockwave or a thrown brick converts window glass into lethal shrapnel. Apply clear security window film from the inside, 3M or equivalent, available at Home Depot. If you don't have film, run wide duct tape in an X pattern. Tape will not stop a heavy object, but it will hold the shards in the frame and preserve your thermal envelope. Internal barricades. Position furniture shields or heavy dressers only behind the curtain, deep in the room. The window itself must look ordinary. You can even break the outer pane deliberately for the appearance of abandonment. Front door. External deadbolts, heavy chains, and giant padlocks hanging on the outside are magnets for criminals. All hardening happens on the interior. From the outside, your door must look like every other door in the complex. Reinforce the door frame with 3-inch structural screws driven into the stud, not just the jamb. The weak point is never the door, it is the frame. Install an internal door brace such as a floor-anchored security bar or a heavy steel wedge. That is your counter against a battering ram hit. The peephole leaks interior light. Cover it from the inside with black tape. Sliding glass doors are a specific American vulnerability. Every suburban ranch and every second-story apartment has one. They are your softest wall. Drop a steel or hardwood security bar into the track. Drill and place a screw or a nail high in the upper track to prevent the door from being lifted off its rails. Apply security film to the entire pane. Cover the interior with heavy blackout drapes. From the yard, that door must read as empty and forgotten. If you can pre-position plywood cut to size in the garage with pre-drilled screw holes, you can panel it from the inside in under 2 minutes when the situation demands it. Just do not panel it before the situation demands it. That is a beacon. Garage security. In American homes, the garage is the second front door, and it is almost always weaker than the main entry. Kill garage door opener power at the breaker or unplug the motor. Then engage the manual slide lock on the track. 1 bolt through the rail is enough to defeat a standard. Hook the release cord through the top seal. Attack. If you have windows on the garage door, cover them from the inside with cardboard and duct tape. Any tools, gas cans, generators, or bikes must be pulled deep against the interior wall of the house, out of line of sight. The garage is a staging area for looters, not a display case for your kit. Do not leave the exterior man door on the side of the garage as a soft entry. Reinforce that frame with the same 3-inch screws and install a deadbolt with a hardened strike plate. Ring cameras, Nest, Wise, Blink, Eufy, every doorbell cam and driveway cam in the neighborhood is a free extension of your Intel network while power lasts. Set them to record locally to microSD if possible, not just cloud. Keep the app running on a dedicated low-power tablet inside the safe room. When the grid is up, you have eyes on every angle of your property. Watch neighbor patterns. Watch for repeat vehicles cruising slow. Watch for foot traffic doing casual walk-bys with a phone raised. Once the grid goes down, those cameras die within hours on internal battery backup. So use the pre-blackout window to establish a baseline of who belongs on your street and who does not. Then transition to analog. The mirror periscope, the peephole, a slit in the blackout curtain, a listening post at the front door. Trash trail. When municipal pickup dies, empty cans of beef stew are evidence. Wash tin cans, crush them flat, store them inside sealed contractor bags. Trash tossed out of the window or bagged on the curb tells the block exactly what you have and how much of it. Food scraps get dried out or held in sealed 5-gallon buckets to control smell and rodents. Rule 4. Sound discipline. In a powered-down city at night, the silence is absolute. Any noise carries floors. Kill loud conversation, kill dish clatter, communicate in whispers. Cover hardwood flooring with rugs, blankets, moving pads. They absorb footfalls and muffle activity. Cook only during daylight. The sound and smell of a stove at night will bring the wrong guests. Smell is the invisible enemy. Boil meat, and the whole floor smells it through the ventilation shafts. Seal HVAC vents and range hood ports with heavy cardboard and duct tape when not in use. That also blocks smoke intrusion during structure fires next door. Rule 5. The safe room. Pick an interior room without windows, a wide hallway, a walk-in closet, a bathroom, or a basement space. That is where you sleep and store the core of your untouchable reserve. Build a closed thermal envelope in that room. In winter, without heat, that is life or death. On a breach, you get roughly 2 minutes to fall back and barricade in this final zone. Rule 6, observation. Control the street while staying completely invisible. Never stand directly in the window frame. Your silhouette prints against the light interior wall. Observe from deep in the room, standing at an angle. Use binoculars only from shadow. The ideal solution is an automotive convex mirror on a stick that works as a concealed periscope. Push it past the frame edge by an inch. You see the street without exposing your head. Rule 7, absolute silence mode. If someone knocks, you do not answer. No. Who is it? In an anarchy environment, you open only on a pre-agreed passphrase. If the knock is aggressive, take a covered position out of the line of fire opposite the door. Hold the defense. Looters knock to see if a unit is occupied. If the interior is dead silent, they leave. Your task is to sell the illusion that there is nothing to take and the place has been picked clean already. Sell it with garbage on the landing, scuff marks on the exterior door, a broken doorknob. Rule 8, alternate exits. The stairwell can become a fire trap. Prep a rated escape ladder or a rescue rope if you live at or below the 4th floor. Keep the balcony or fire escape platform clear of junk. That is your reserve egress to the neighboring unit. In a single-family home, the reserve egress is a second-floor bedroom window with a folding kiddie escape ladder pre-staged under the bed. Rule 9, digital footprint at home. A running Wi-Fi router and active Bluetooth beacons broadcast that you have power. Kill the router's SSID broadcast or power the router down entirely. Put every phone and tablet in airplane mode when not in active use. A lit smartphone screen at night is a lighthouse. Read under a blanket. Energy is a privilege. Any glow in a dark building will pull a crowd looking to charge phones. Remember, loners do not survive extended crises. Carefully, methodically, cut deals with rational neighbors. Your fortress strategy is built around the illusion of empty rooms and total silence. In the next segment, social engineering, how to negotiate, how to trade resources, and how to identify provocateurs. Under severe scarcity, the rules of human interaction change hard. The primary currency of a crisis is not gold and not dollars. It is information. And a careless word will kill you faster than a bullet. Rule 1 of Social Security, absolute information silence. Nobody knows about your supplies. Even a throwaway comment to a neighbor that you ate hot soup yesterday turns your unit into a priority target. Complain. Look as bad as everyone else. Say the food ran out yesterday. Fake weakness, fake hunger, healthy color in your face, and a springy walk inside a starving city is a death sentence. Rule 2, barter. At some point you go outside to trade for medicine or filters. Never trade at your own home or on your own block. Choose neutral ground only. The trade site must be open, visible from multiple angles, and offer at least 2 safe egress routes. Never display your total inventory. Show only what you are willing to hand over right now. If you show a full carton of cigarettes, someone will follow you home. They will not kill you for that trade. They will kill you for what's left behind. Bring trade goods in beat-up, dirty plastic bags. The packaging must not draw a second look. What to trade? Gold and jewelry in the first months of a collapse carry almost no value. Real currency is consumables, Bic lighters, batteries, AAA, CR123, antibiotics, candles, hygiene basics. Alcohol and tobacco are the gold standard of barter. They kill stress, so demand is bottomless. Split your reserve into a base fund and a trade fund. Never trade your strategic food or water for anything. Never trade weapons, ammunition, or knives. You are arming the person who will come for you tomorrow. Rule 3. Spotting provocateurs. Cries for help at night. Classic looter trap. A child crying or a woman screaming from a dark alley, engineered strictly to pull you out of a secure position. As cold as it sounds, you are not a first responder. Your job is your family. Ignore it. If you see a body on the ground with no visible injuries, that is bait. The ambush is nearby. Check the boots of the victim. If the boots are clean and expensive and the body is in the mud, it's staged 100%. Rule 4. Skill masking. Do not showcase your medical, technical, or military knowledge without absolute necessity. A skilled surgeon or a radio engineer becomes a valuable resource and a slave for the local gangs. You are a shift manager at an office job. You do not know anything. You do not fix anything. Be useless to the wolves. Rule 5. Forming alliances. Long-term solo survival is mathematically impossible. For 24/7 watch, perimeter defense, and resource runs, you need a minimum of 4 reliable adults. Ally only with neighbors you knew before the crisis and whose family composition matches yours. People with kids are less likely to take reckless risks or turn traitor. They have something to lose. Group relations must be built on strict parity. Everyone contributes equally. Watch shifts, water hauls, firewood. Do not become the charity. Once you start feeding neighbors for free, you become their food supply. When your reserves are gone, the people you fed will not thank you. They will demand more and accuse you of being greedy. Every act of help has a price. Trade food for work, sanitation, door reinforcement, standing watch. Rule 6. Threat assessment on contact. Street conversation distance never drops below 6 feet. Keep your hands free and visible, but not in your pockets. Be ready to break contact violently. Watch the eyes. If a gaze keeps flicking over your clothes and your pack, they are pricing the score. If 2 or 3 people close on you and one starts running their mouth to hold your attention, another is flanking. That is a classic distraction play. Step back immediately and demand that every member of the group stay in your field of view. Rule 7. Reading the crowd. Watch the ambient noise floor. A sudden dead silence in a market is more dangerous than screaming. If pigeons scatter off the rooftops all at once and stray dogs vanish into the alleys, a large organized threat is inbound. Always scan the hands of people around you. Someone with empty hands in a scarcity zone has either been robbed already or is hunting a target. Rule 8. Aggression control. In a confrontation, do not threaten. Do not scream. Do not run a bluff. Brandishing a weapon without the willingness to use it means the weapon gets taken and turned against you. Be polite. Be calm. Be firm. A confident, quiet voice throws a street aggressor off harder than shouting back. If physical contact is unavoidable, strike first and disengage immediately. In a medical vacuum, any wound is fatal. Rule 9. Information as a resource. Listen more than you speak. Rumor at the neighborhood fire is raw intel. Learn where new checkpoints have appeared, where clean water is being distributed, which subdivisions are under gang control. Verify every rumor from at least 2 independent sources before you change a safe route. Now, the American layer. Government evacuation orders versus bugging in. You will face mandatory and voluntary evacuation announcements from FEMA, the National Guard, State Emergency Management, or your county sheriff. Most of the time, the smart call is to bug in. Your prepared position is stronger than a shelter cot in a stadium or a school gym. But there are hard breakpoints. If the order is triggered by chemical release, wildfire, radiological event, a Category 4 or 5 hurricane bearing down on the coast, or a dam failure, you go. No debate. Monitor NOAA weather radio, official emergency alerts on your phone, and county sheriff's social feeds. Do not rely on cable news alone. Cross-check with 2 independent sources before you commit. If you decide to bug in against a voluntary order, keep it quiet. Do not argue with deputies on the street. Do not become the visible holdout. That is a headline. That is a raid list. Keep the shades drawn. Keep the vehicle in the garage. Do not answer welfare checks with a display of supplies. HOA and neighborhood dynamics. In a subdivision, the HOA board is a de facto local government. In good times, they cite you for tall grass and the wrong shade of house paint. In a crisis, they decide who gets on the community aid list. Do not become known as the household with the generator, the pool, or the stockpile. If your HOA calls an emergency meeting, show up, look tired, look scared, look hungry. Volunteer for a benign task, clearing debris, walking a watch shift. That buys goodwill without exposing your assets. Cul-de-sacs organize fast under stress. Get in early on the block watch conversation. Steer it toward mutual security, not resource redistribution. Never allow a communal supply list to be built. That list is a target folder the day it leaks. Be the neighbor who helps carry a battery, not the neighbor who owns the whole pallet. Social media in a crisis multiplies your exposure exponentially. Any photo of a full pantry, a generator in a driveway, a lit window, or a smoking chimney will end up on Facebook, Nextdoor, or a neighborhood group chat. Someone will screenshot it. Someone will share it. Someone desperate 2 miles over will see it. Kill your posts. Kill your check-ins. Kill your Nextdoor account for the duration. Tell your kids and your spouse to do the same. One TikTok of your teenager showing off how prepped we are is a targeting package. Assume every post is public. Assume every post is permanent. Assume every post is a threat brief on your household. And keep a level head. Panic is contagious. It shuts down logic and drives fatal errors. Next block, autonomous medicine. How to treat infection, stop bleeding, and close wounds without an ambulance. Doomsday medicine. Forget the number for 911. In the gray zone, that phone rings forever. You are now the surgeon. You are the medic. You are the ICU. Any scratch left untreated can turn into sepsis and a body bag. Your standard car first aid kit or bathroom cabinet is completely worthless. A tube of Neosporin and a box of Band-Aids will not save you from massive hemorrhage. A real survival kit is split into 2 hard tiers, trauma and pharmacology. You do not mix them in the same pouch. Trauma is what kills in minutes. Pharma is what kills in days. Start with tier 1. Threat number 1, arterial bleeding. You have between 90 seconds and 3 minutes before the brain dies from hypoxia. The only reliable tool is a combat application tourniquet, a CAT tourniquet. Forget the old rubber band tourniquets from the last century. Those rot with age and fail in cold. A modern CAT can be applied one-handed to yourself in 15 seconds. Application rule, high and tight on the limb, over the clothing, no time wasted stripping the casualty. Correct application produces brutal pain. That is the indicator that the artery is fully clamped. Log the time of application in permanent marker directly on the casualty's forehead. After 2 hours, the tissue starts to die. Your tourniquet rides on the exterior of your kit at instant reach for either hand. In the medical bag, it is worthless. Buy the real thing. The gray market is flooded with fake cats on Amazon. Buy North American Rescue Direct or from a reputable trauma gear dealer. A fake tourniquet fails under load and you lose the limb or the life. Tier 1, Item 2, the Israeli bandage, a pressure dressing used for wounds where a tourniquet is not required or not possible, torso, neck, junction wounds. The built-in plastic applicator creates direct mechanical pressure on the wound and controls venous bleeding. For deep, penetrating wounds, you need hemostatic gauze, quick clot combat gauze, or C-LOX, impregnated gauze that accelerates clotting. Technique is wound packing. You literally cram the gauze into the wound cavity all the way to the source, and then apply pressure for 3 full minutes without lifting. Threat number 2, pneumothorax. A sucking chest wound lets air into the pleural cavity and collapses the lung to the size of a raisin. Solution, a chest seal. Hyphen-vented seals are the standard. It seals the entry and lets excess air escape through a one-way valve, but never lets it back in. No commercial seal on hand. Use heavy plastic sheeting and duct tape. Seal 3 sides, leave one corner open as an improvised vent. Fractures and immobilization. In the gray zone, there is no cast room. You need a SAM splint. Flexible aluminum sandwiched between foam. Light rolls up small, molds into any shape. Secure the broken limb with an elastic wrap or duct tape. Never strip the casualty's clothing. It hurts them and burns your clock. Cut the fabric with trauma shears. Blunt tip shears do not lacerate skin and will cut through a heavy winter jacket or a plate carrier. Shock prevention. Wrap the casualty in an emergency thermal blanket, silver side in. It weighs less than 2 ounces but retains 90% of radiated body heat. Blood loss always drives critical hypothermia. Move to Tier 2, pharmacology. The single most common cause of death after the initial event is bacterial infection. You need a broad-spectrum antibiotic reserve, amoxicillin, azithromycin, ciprofloxacin, doxycycline, metronidazole. In peacetime, these are prescription only. In the gray zone, they are more valuable than pure gold. American solution to the prescription problem: fish antibiotics. Aquatic amoxicillin, aquatic cipro, aquatic doxycycline. Same manufacturing lines, same active ingredient, same dosages as human formulations. Sold over the counter at pet supply retailers and online without a prescription. Verify the manufacturer. Verify the label lists only the active ingredient and standard binders, no added dyes, no coatings for fish. Store, cool, and dry. Rotate every 2 years. This is not a substitute for a real prescription and a real diagnosis in normal times. It is a strategic reserve for when the pharmacy is empty and the doctors are gone. Next one, perimeter defense. If looters have reached your front door, every previous layer of stealth has failed. In the gray zone, the law is offline. There are no warning shots. There are no long humanitarian negotiations. There is no do-over. Your objective is to make an assault on your position mathematically unprofitable. Attacker losses must exceed the value of your food. Start with the far approaches. The stairwell or the exterior hallway is your buffer zone. Elevators are dead. The enemy comes up the stairs. Salt the landings with broken glass or small roofing nails. That eliminates silent approach. Install primitive audible alarms. Run fishing line or dark thin cordage at ankle height across the corridor. Tie it to a bundle of empty tin cans with hex nuts inside. In dead silence, that clatter wakes the entire family instantly. Electronic alternative. Cheap door and window alarms from Walmart or Amazon. Magnetic contact sensors with an ear-splitting piezo screamer. Tripwire-style pole pin alarms marketed for camping. Deploy them 2 floors down or 200 feet down a rural driveway. You want at least 30 seconds of warning to reach a fighting position. Alarm triggers, you do not go out to check. You go straight to a covered position inside the house. The door is not a wall. Any wood or steel residential door yields to a heavy ram in a couple of minutes. Your job is to bog them down. Interior wooden wedges hammered under the door work better than any deadbolt. Build an internal barricade of heavy furniture, but leave a narrow lane on the side. You want to control the breach point. That corridor is the funnel of death. An attacker squeezing through a narrow gap loses maneuver and becomes an ideal target. Never stand directly opposite the doorway. Buckshot from a shotgun punches through thin sheet metal and hollow core doors easily. Take a position behind a load-bearing wall, poured concrete, brick, or a stud wall packed with sandbags or heavy books at an oblique angle to the door. Concrete stops most calibers. Take a knee. Under stress, attackers instinctively fire or swing at chest height of a standing adult. Kneel below their sight picture. Use tactical lighting. A 100 lumen strobe pointed at the breach point completely blinds the attacker. The strobe pulse disorients the brain and destroys coordination in a dark hallway. That is a decisive edge. Mount the light on furniture. Do not hold it in your hand. The attackers shoot directly at the light source. Weapons. Firearms are the decisive argument, and this is where American law and American reality diverge from the source material. Home defense doctrine in the United States is centered on 3 platforms and 3 calibers. 12-gauge pump shotgun, Mossberg 500, Remington 870, Beretta 1301, loaded with reduced recoil Eero buckshot or premium defensive loads like Federal Flight Control, devastating at interior distances. Cheap. Ammunition is common. The rack of a shotgun still moves people at the door. 9mm handgun, Glock 17 or 19, SIG P365 or P320, Smith Wesson MP. The most common defensive caliber in America. Modern hollow point loads, Federal HST, Spear Gold Dot, Hornady Critical Duty deliver reliable stopping power. Handguns are what you actually carry. A rifle in the safe when the door goes down is a display piece. 5.56 or 2.23 carbine, AR-15 platform, Ruger, Smith Wesson MP-15, Daniel Defense, BCM, Aero Precision. Match with a red dot, Aimpoint, Holosun, EO Tech. Load with a purpose-built defensive load such as 55 grain or 62 grain soft point or bonded. The AR is light, low recoil, magazine fed, and controllable by every trained adult in the household. Contrary to internet mythology, 5.56 out of a short barrel overpenetrates less in interior walls than 9mm pistol loads and buckshot when loaded correctly. Backup and specialty, .22 LR rifle or pistol for small game work and low signature training. A pistol caliber carbine that shares magazines with your handgun for standardization. Legal reality. Castle doctrine and stand your ground laws vary by state. Some states, Texas, Florida, most of the South and Mountain West, recognize a strong right to use lethal force against a home intruder without a duty to retreat. Others, much of the Northeast California, some of the Midwest, impose a duty to retreat outside the home and stricter proportionality requirements. Know your state's law now. Know your state's law before the crisis. In a functioning legal environment, every shot fired inside your home is a criminal case and a civil case waiting to be filed. In a total gray zone environment, the calculus shifts, but assume rule of law will be restored at some point, and assume you will answer for every round downrange. Training. Owning a firearm is not skill. Reps are skill. Get to the range monthly. Dry fire nightly. Take a legitimate defensive course, Gunsight, Thunder Ranch, Sig Sauer Academy, Warrior Poet Society, or a reputable local instructor. Learn to draw from concealment. Learn to shoot on the move. Learn to shoot one-handed. Learn to clear malfunctions in the dark. Train your family. Teach every adult to safely load, unload, store, and fire the household defensive weapons. Practice home defense flow with airsoft or SIRT training pistols. Room clearing solo is a fool's errand for a civilian. The doctrine is to hunker down in the safe room, get on the phone if the network is up, and defend the funnel. Night vision and thermal. In a grid-down scenario, these give you decisive advantage. Analog night vision, a used PVS-14 monocular, is expensive, but still the standard. Digital night vision has closed the gap fast. Psionics Aurora Pro, ATN, Night Fox. Thermal handhelds, a Pulsar Axion, an AGM Rattler, a Leupold LTO tracker, let you see body heat through darkness, brush, and smoke. Thermal beats night vision for detecting a person in shadow. Night vision beats thermal for identifying who they are. Ideal is one of each. Use IR illuminators, invisible to the naked eye, but glowing under NV. Assume the other side may have low-end thermal too. Reflective mylar under a poncho, a wool blanket, or a dedicated thermal cloak dampens your signature. If firearms are not available or not legal for you at the moment of crisis, you improvise hard. Forget kitchen knives for close combat. Knife range is a lottery where both parties bleed out. Your advantage is distance. Build a spear, tape a heavy hunting or fighting fixed blade knife to a solid mop or broom handle with duct tape and paracord. The spear delivers thrusts from behind cover and keeps you outside the attacker's reach. A fire axe is an excellent option. Heavy, breaks through defenses, and its presence alone demoralizes an aggressor. Chemical defense. Stream pattern pepper spray is the ideal less lethal weapon in a narrow hallway. Do not use aerosol spray canisters inside living space. The cloud takes down you and your family. Stream or gel from Saber or Fox Labs hits the aggressor's face precisely at up to 10 feet and blinds him for half an hour. Improvised chemistry, a mix of ground cayenne and fine sand in a shallow cup. Thrown into eyes, that stops any attacker. Keep a few of these cups on a shelf near the funnel for a breach event. Traps inside the perimeter. Under any window that could be a breach point, lay a sheet of plywood with roofing nails driven through, points up. An attacker coming through a broken window in the dark lands directly on the nail bed. Camouflage the nail board with a light rug or newspaper. Trip lines are effective and dangerous to you. Deploy them only in areas you will not cross at night. Run heavy cable at neck height in a doorway. That stops a full sprint into the interior. Fire response. Attackers who cannot force the door will try to burn it. Keep buckets of dry sand near the entry. Water is useless if the door has been doused with accelerant. That just spreads the burn and creates deadly steam. Sand smothers the oxygen and knocks down a gasoline flame without producing toxic scald in the corridor. Psychology of the defense. Attackers hunt soft targets. They expect frightened victims ready to hand over stores. Your response must be maximally violent and disproportionate. The first attacker through must go down instantly. Watching a screaming, seriously wounded partner in the doorway cools the pack morale of most looter crews immediately. They understand the risk is too high. They fall back to look for a softer target down the block. Never negotiate through a closed door. Every word you say gives up your fear and your head count. Answer with action or with absolute silence. Let them wonder whether the unit is empty or contains a killing ground. If the assault is broken, do not relax. A crew may return with reinforcements or a Molotov. Keep sand ready. Check the exterior only after you have confirmed the perimeter is clean and there is no follow-on element. Strip neutralized attackers of tools, lights, radios, and weapons. Those are legitimate battlefield recoveries and critical resources for the next phase. If your fortress has been compromised and assaults keep coming, you must accept the hardest decision: evacuation. Staying in a burned position means starving through a siege you will eventually lose. Extraction happens only at night, only through pre-planned covert routes, and never through your building's main entrance. In the final field parts, we cover evacuation, the bug-out bag, and movement through a wrecked region. Evacuation. If your position is compromised or destroyed, one option remains: exfil the contaminated zone. The bug-out bag is not a comfort camping kit. It is a survival capsule rated for 72 hours of forced march. Rule 1 of evacuation: strict weight limit. Your pack does not exceed 15% of your body weight. A heavy pack destroys your knees in the first 6 miles and turns you into a slow, easy target. Echelon concept. Your gear is layered into lines. First echelon, what is always on your body. On a rigger's belt or in your pants pockets: folding knife, ferro rod, lighter, compass, cat tourniquet, water bottle. That is your absolute minimum. If you have to drop the pack to run, first echelon keeps you alive in the woods. Second echelon, the pack itself. Choose a subdued color model: coyote, ranger green, gray, multicam black in a pinch. Skip external MOLLE forests. No bright accents. Kelty, Mystery Ranch, Eberlestock, 511, Osprey Ether. Pick a proven frame around 40 to 60 liters. Packing. Heavy items, water, ammunition, tools, go dead center, tight against the spine. That preserves your center of gravity. Lightweight items, sleeping bag, spare clothing, go on the bottom as suspension. Nothing dangles outside. Rattling pots ring like a bell and snag and brush. Absolute waterproofing. Line the pack with a heavy contractor trash bag or a purpose-built dry bag and pack directly into it. Shelter. Forget the tent. Heavy, slow, and its dome is visible from a mile. Choose a tactical tarp, an E&O ProFly, a Cammock Coolie, an AquaQuest Defender in 10 by 10 feet. Ounces on the scale, blends into the tree line, deploys in 2 minutes. With paracord, it becomes a lean-to that stops rain and wind while preserving your sightlines. Ground insulation. Sleep on bare ground even in summer, and it will pull heat out of your kidneys. A foam sleeping pad, a closed-cell Thermarest Z-Lite, a Nemo switchback is more important than the sleeping bag. That is what blocks conductive heat loss to the soil. Water on the move. Stainless steel wide-mouth bottles, clean canteen, Nalgene stainless, Pathfinder are perfect. You can boil water in them over coals. Hydration bladders with sip tubes are convenient, but the tubes puncture under load and freeze solid in winter. Add a Sawyer squeeze and iodine or chlorine dioxide tabs as a backup. Food. Cans are a mistake. 70% water content and negative calories per ounce. Ration in transit. Freeze-dried backpacking meals. Mountain House. Peak Refuel. Pemmican. Jerky. Hard cheese. Nuts. Honey. And dark chocolate. Maximum calorie density per ounce and per cubic inch. They do not require fire and cook time. You eat on the move without leaving trace and without breaking tempo. Tools. Replace the hatchet with a quality folding saw. Silky Big Boy Baco Laplander. Weighs 5 times less, cuts through hardwood twice as fast and quietly. Fixed blade full tang knife. ESC 5, K-bar BK7, tops. With batoning, you split wood off a round with the spine of the blade. A multi-tool with pliers, Leatherman Wave or Surge, Gerber MP600 is a portable machine shop for gear repair, weapon service, and lock work. Navigation. GPS on a smartphone dies with the cell towers or gets jammed by hostile electronic warfare systems. You need paper topographic maps of your region, laminated with clear packing tape against rain. USGS quads. Print them today. Learn the compass. Learn magnetic azimuths. Learn to read terrain from a topo sheet. Learn to shoot bearings by the sun and the stars before the crisis. Bug out vehicle. Before you walk anywhere, you drive. American routes are engineered around the automobile. The right vehicle covers 200 miles in a night that would take 3 weeks on foot. Ideal profile: older mechanical injection or carbureted platforms, a 1980s or early 1990s diesel truck, an old Land Cruiser, a Suburban, a Ford Bronco, a Wrangler, no computer-controlled ignition to fry in an EMP event. Modern trucks work fine in every scenario except a Pulse. If that is your only vehicle, keep spare ECMs sealed in a Faraday enclosure. Fuel: keep tanks at 50% minimum year-round. Store an additional 20 to 40 gallons in stabilized rotation in the garage. Proper metal cans, not gas station plastic. Diesel stores longer. Propane conversions run cleaner. Bug out vehicle loadout lives packaged in the garage. Full-size spare and a plug kit. Jack and boards. Tow strap. Kinetic recovery rope. Tire chains. Chainsaw. Gas can. Ratchet straps. Water. Sleeping bags. Spare boots. Route planning. Primary route on interstate. Alternate on state highway. Contingency on rural farm and county roads. Emergency on foot. The interstate will be a parking lot in a mass evacuation, Katrina 2005, Rita 2005, the I-45 gridlock. Do not commit to it late. Move before the herd or move off corridor. Cache fuel at a friend or family location 100 miles out along your alternate route. Never advertise the cache. Rally points and family comms plan. Every family member from age 6 up knows primary rally point, alternate rally point, and out-of-state contact. Primary rally: a location within 1 mile of home, meet within 1 hour of separation. Alternate rally: a location outside the neighborhood, meet within 24 hours. Bug out destination: the retreat, a friend's ranch, a specific relative. Out-of-state contact: a trusted family member 3 states away. In a regional crisis, local calls fail, but long-distance long-range often still routes. Every family member memorizes that phone number. Text and voicemail flow to a single node. Everyone leaves a status. Everyone reads the status. Codes for common situations: E, checked in, or moving to alternate, or compromised, do not follow. Print the plan. Laminate it. Kids carry a laminated copy in their backpacks with the out-of-state phone number. PACE planning covers everything: primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. Every critical function gets 4 layers. Comms PACE: primary is cell voice. Alternate is SMS. Contingency is GMRS or ham handheld. Emergency is a pre-agreed physical signal at the rally point, a chalk mark, a strip of orange tape on a specific fence post. Water PACE: primary is stored bottles. Alternate is the stored water heater. Contingency is filter and boil from a known creek or pool. Emergency is chemical treatment of any available water. Route PACE: primary interstate, alternate secondary highway, contingency rural backroads, emergency foot movement along terrain features. Shelter PACE: primary home, alternate friend or family within 50 miles. Contingency remote retreat, emergency wilderness shelter along the route. Write the PACE plan today. Rehearse it. Time the family from alert to bug out ready. Under 30 minutes is the goal. Route planning on foot. Cardinal rule: never move along interstate highways. The interstates jam solid with abandoned vehicles, looters, and checkpoints. That is an absolute kill zone. Railroad rights-of-way are also dangerous. Straight lines, excellent visibility, and frequently patrolled. Move parallel to major roads through timber, holding a distance of roughly half a mile, using power line cuts, gas line right-of-ways, and creek beds for orientation. Movement window: Move in the gray hours, the hour before dawn and the hour after sunset. Visibility is at its lowest. During the day, lie up in dense cover. Movement in a forest at night without a headlamp is a snapped ankle. A headlamp turned on in a night forest is visible for miles. That is a beacon for hunters. Halts, cold camp concept. No fires. Wood smoke and clean air carries for miles. You eat cold food, sleep in your clothes, and move out at first light without leaving a trace. Foot care. Trench foot will take you out faster than a bullet. Wet feet inside a boot begin to rot on day 2. Take your boots off at every halt. Dry your insoles. Swap socks twice a day. Dry the wet socks against your chest under your shell. Powder your feet with talc or plain baby powder. That absorbs sweat and prevents blood blisters. Dangerous crossings, bridges, and narrow ravines are always overwatched. They are natural collection points for road agents. Before you break cover into any open area, lie in cover and glass the ground for a minimum of 30 minutes. Study the zone. Watch the birds. If the birds are agitated or flare off a specific stand of brush, that is an ambush position. Nature will warn you. Cross open ground fast, low, and in bounds. If you are in a team, cross one at a time with a 20-yard interval. A single burst of fire or a single explosive device must not take out the whole element. That interval also prevents an ambush team from covering the whole file at once. Track discipline. Avoid mud, wet clay, and sand. Your prints are a thread that pulls a hunter directly to you. Step on stones, roots, and hard-packed ground. When crossing a dirt road, sweep the prints with a leafy branch. If you are being tracked, do not try to escape with a heavy pack. Drop it. Your life is worth more than a sleeping bag and a bag of hardtack. Evacuation psychology. Do not look back at the house you left. That life is over. Look forward at the rally point. Panic is a luxury you can no longer afford. Cold calculation, paranoia, and continuous movement. The prepared survive. Endgame and philosophy of the gray zone. You have walked the road from blocking the doors of your own home to exfiltrating through a dead forest. But survival is not a set of water filters and tourniquets. It is a full transformation of your mind. Many people believe that in a disaster, the strongest or the richest survive. That belief is fatal. The strongest athlete dies of an untreated infection in a week. The richest person is robbed in the first 24 hours because of their own certainty. In the gray zone, the strong do not survive. The adaptive survive. The individual who accepts the new rules of the game fastest. Normal life is gone. Everyone's still sitting on the couch waiting for a FEMA helicopter or the National Guard to fly in and fix everything will die first. Accept reality. No help is coming in time. You are the paramedic. You are the surgeon. You are the security detail for your family. That acceptance is your primary weapon. The moment you accept autonomy, panic collapses. Calculation replaces it. Take inventory of your skills today. What can you do with your hands? Can you start a fire without matches? Can you apply a tourniquet with your offhand in 10 seconds in the dark? Train muscle memory. Under stress, your intelligence drops to the level of your muscle memory. You do not rise to the level of your expectations. You fall to the level of your training. If you have never packed a wound, you will not do it in a crisis. You will freeze. Knowledge weighs nothing. It takes up no space in the pack. Take a Stop the Bleed class. Take a wilderness first aid course. Study topography. Build your library. Do not buy stupid gadgets. Buy antibiotics, water filters, a quality knife, and cat tourniquets. Practice hours matter more than gear dollars. Physical fitness. Start today. Your ruck weighs 30 pounds. Your knees, your hips, your back must carry that ruck 15 miles a day, day after day. The country is grossly deconditioned. That is your edge if you use the time now. Ruck 2 miles a day this week. Ruck 5 miles by next month. Do farmer carries. Do sled pushes. Do stairs with weight. Get to the range. Get to the pool. Build the aerobic base and the muscular endurance the way an infantryman does. In 3 months of honest work, you become dangerous to the situation instead of the situation being dangerous to you. Community resilience and mutual aid. Solo survival is a fantasy. History records no lone wolf legend making it through year 1. The unit that survives is the block, the church group, the neighborhood watch, the family compound, the small crew of veterans and nurses and welders and farmers who trust each other. Build your circle now. Identify the nurse across the street. Identify the retired cop 3 doors down. Identify the ham operator, the diesel mechanic, the hunter, the grandmother who knows how to can. Break bread with them in peacetime. In a crisis, that shared meal is a defensive coalition already in place. Mutual aid is not charity. It is formal parity. Every skill supports every other skill. Remember the gray man protocol. Do not stand out before the crisis. Do not stand out during the crisis. Do not brag about supplies. Behave as though you have nothing. Let your neighbors believe you are an ordinary, unprepared civilian. When the blackout hits, do not turn on the light. When panic starts, stay home and watch from the shadow. Your task in the first 48 hours is to become invisible. Let the first wave of chaos pass your door. Never trust blindly. Desperate people are capable of things they never imagined about themselves. Assess every contact through the lens of threat. Hold distance. Control flanks. Prepare exits. Hold your morale. Despair kills faster than thirst. If you break mentally, your body follows. Find psychological anchors. Photos of the people you love. A small book. A bag of good coffee. That is your line back to your humanity. For those anchors, you will endure cold, pain, and fear. They give you the reason to take one more step when the tank is empty. Look at recent history, not overseas, domestic. Hurricane Katrina, 2005, New Orleans. Rule of law failed within 72 hours. The Superdome became a nightmare. Neighborhood self-organization saved more lives than official rescue. Water and fuel ran out, and the National Guard needed nearly a week to establish order in a major American city. The people who lived owned a plan. Puerto Rico, after Hurricane Maria, 2017, the grid was down for months, full months. Hospitals ran on failing generators. Insulin spoiled. Dialysis patients died in ordinary numbers because there was no power. Communities that pooled fuel, medicine, and labor made it. Communities that waited for the flatbed to arrive did not. Texas winter storm, February 2021, Uri. The ERCOT grid collapsed under cold that would have been ordinary in Minnesota. Homes froze from the inside. Water systems failed. Pipes burst behind sealed walls. People burned furniture in living rooms and died of carbon monoxide poisoning in the same rooms. The neighbors who had a propane heater, a stocked pantry, a generator sized correctly, and a plan for their pipes did not just survive, they helped the block survive. Wildfires in California, Paradise 2018, a town went from ordinary morning to gone by lunch. The people who had a bug-out bag in the car and knew 2 egress routes made it out. The people who tried to gather photos and pets in the driveway did not. The pattern is not theory. The pattern is documented. The people who make it are the ones who prepared and kept their heads. The people who go under are the ones who trusted the system to hold. We covered fundamentals. Every crisis is unique. There is no universal template. Your primary asset is the capacity to improvise, combine methods, invent solutions on the move. The world as you know it is fragile. The food supply chain, the tap water, the electric grid, that is the thin film of civilization. When the film tears, you are alone with reality. No decoration, no rules, no mercy. This briefing is your first step to independence. Read it again. Take notes on the critical protocols. Print topographic maps of your county today. Build a base first aid kit tomorrow. Do not wait for the sirens to run. When the panic starts, the price of a filter and a tourniquet spikes by a factor of 100. Even at that price, you will not find them. The shelves at Walmart and Target and Home Depot will be empty 3 hours after the first alert. Your safety is your responsibility alone. No one is coming to save you. Accept that fact. This has been the Civil Duty Briefing. We deliver hard facts and working protocols for the people who intend to live, not for the people who hope for a miracle. If this material forced you to think, subscribe to Civil Duty. Share this brief with the people who matter to you. Learn your kit, pack your ruck, prepare for the worst so you can enjoy the best. Stand ready, stay gray, stay alive. Civil Duty out. End of transmission.